Hey everybody, Jamie Maloney here, host of That Business Show 2.0, airing weekday mornings 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. on TampaBayRadio.com. Also available on iTunes as a podcast, as well as multiple other podcasting platforms. High definition video available after the airing of the program over at thatyoutubechannel.com. Each and every morning we work to inspire entrepreneurship by hearing from the successes and also the failures of other entrepreneurs on the program. So wherever it is that you are in business, whatever industry that you're in, whatever level that you're in, we want to hear your story. And it doesn't matter where you're at across the country. We're based here in Tampa Bay, but we bring in guests from across the nation. So visit tbsinterview.com to learn how to come onto the program. So on this episode of That Business Show 2.0, we got John Hobbs with us. He is the founder of Athletes Performance Gear, which is a unique little product for runners out there. And so it's great to talk to creators out there, because it's so often that we see a lot of people in the service industry these days that we've forgotten that we need to also create products. And so he is a inventor and creator of this nifty little device that helps hydrate runners while they are in exercise. Learn more about this at apg.rocks. So John, how are you doing this morning? Welcome in.
I'm doing well, Jamie. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm excited.
Absolutely. So first off, tell us a little bit more about this product. I know you have one of them in front of you there. So give the listeners and viewers a little bit more about what this product is.
Okay. Well, this product is a water bottle system for people that run or walk for fitness. The design is very unique. It has a large opening for the hand to pass through, so you really do not have to hold it. Hardly any efforts required. When you get thirsty, there's a trigger. When you hit this trigger, what you're doing is you're opening the valve in the bottle.
Interesting.
This design allows them to be sold and used in sets, one for each hand at the same time, so you maintain balance, which is a really big issue. You can just watch anyone carrying a single item from behind and see the issue. It's a drastic issue, and over time does cause injury. Okay,
so it acts as a weight for one and a hydrating device for two. So it's serving two functions then, right? You're carrying a weight while you're running. I see people carry weights with them, so it also has that benefit too, right?
Yeah, if you want to call 20 ounces a weight, that's what it weighs full.
Hey, when I'm running or doing, actually I don't run, but whenever I'm doing anything, I want as little weight on me as possible. So 20 ounces is 20 ounces.
Yeah, but people don't consider carrying a single water bottle weights. But yeah, they could be called weights, but you can add weights. They're designed to add attachment weight, Bluetooth speaker, flashlight with strobe, stun gun. So they're very cool, very beneficial. So it's the only bottle designed to be used in sets, the only one with trigger and valve. And it's the only one that you can add attachment for safety, physical gain, and enjoyment.
So how did you come up with this idea? Were you the traditional runner holding a bottle of water with them, and you thought there's got to be a better design than this? How did you come up with the idea?
That exactly. Well, first there was a progression. I was running all the time, always hitting the wall. I didn't realize that because you start becoming dehydrated right away, you hit the wall around 45 minutes. And I was hitting the wall around 45 to 50 minutes every day. Then one day I happened to stay hydrated because it was very convenient on the 7-mile run I did every day. And I had a lot more energy that day. I did not hit the wall and added a couple miles. Mm-hmm. So I decided to start carrying a water bottle. I carried water bottle and tried the other systems, and they all hindered my rhythm, gait, and stride. So I stopped carrying again, and then within a few days, this idea just literally popped in my head, fully formed.
So when you get an idea for a product, where do you start? I mean, obviously you didn't build that thing, you're in your garage. I mean, who do you go to start assembling that? Do you just draw somebody a picture who knows how to work with plastics and metals, and they design you a prototype? How does that process work?
The best way to do it is to make a mock-up of the product. I wish I'd have brought that model out for you to show. I took a 4.5-inch piece of cutting board. There's better materials to use, by the way. Right. I didn't know at the time, but I used a 4.5-inch piece of cutting board, cut it out, bored it out, shaped it, sanded it, put a cork in the top, and put a bolt from the top to the bottom to hold it together. And I told everyone that this would be a trigger inside, and this would come on and off. They all thought I was crazy, but when I took it to an engineer, they said that was a blessing, right? Because it gave them a real idea of what I was after.
Okay, so after you've got the mock-up, you take it to an engineer. Is there a place that specializes, or a type of person that specializes in product design, or who did you call?
Well, this was before the company that I would recommend now was in existence.
Okay.
I would recommend Inventors Launchpad.
Okay.
They're good people there, trustworthy.
Inventors Launchpad. Okay, so that's who you recommend today that people use when they have a new product to develop?
Yes, because they can help you with the manufacturing. They can help for the the newer entrepreneurs that do not understand all the different aspects of getting a product to market. They can help in all the little areas, like from branding to packaging to the manufacturing, which is important because
Now, you'd mentioned a minute ago the company that you'd started with, you wouldn't recommend them anymore, and I know you had an issue with them, and we were talking earlier about the importance of understanding your agreements. Talk to us a little bit about this.
Oh, okay. Well, so I had investors come in, and they agreed to invest $1.5 million.
Oh, wow.
And it was going to be monthly payments, and then they would pay for the manufacturing and certain branding separate, but it would be considered to my company. So technically it was value for my company.
Okay.
So in the agreement, and I kept asking the whole way before the agreement was signed, I said, now, the only thing I was really worried about is that my marketing plan was going to be followed, because my marketing plan, I crashed and burned this company before, this company around this idea, but right when I figured out how to market it. So I knew if you did it a different way, it wouldn't work. So anyway, I kept making sure verbally that they were going to follow my marketing plan. 2 weeks into the agreement after it was signed and the first money was issued to me, they took the marketing plan out, which would have reached 197 million people over 9 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was very affordable. The guy was giving me a cut rate for 5% of the profits, and he believed he could move at minimum 200,000 sets in that 9 months.
And so what happened? You just didn't have an attorney representing your side? You just took their word, yeah, we got that covered, and then they burned you? Is that what happened?
Yeah, so they came in. They would not let me add my team. I didn't have it. First of all, I did not have an attorney look at it. Second, because I do understand law a little bit, but still, I was anxious to get the money. So I read it. I understood some of the aspects of it, but the biggest thing I missed was the fact that they could change the marketing, and that they had to approve anybody that they were going to be paying an executive salary to, and they would not approve my people.
Okay, so they changed your marketing plan. Did they change anything else? I mean, did they still agree to give the $1.5 million? Is it that what happened after they got involved and changed the marketing plan?
Okay, so they changed the marketing plan. They started to add people, although I had to approve them. They started to add people, but not as qualified as the team I had ready to come on board. But I understand why. So over a 6-month period, they paid in $645,000 to get 50,000 sets made, the tooling completed, which I had already started, and do branding, which was what they called branding. Mm-hmm. And it was basically that's what they did over 6 months, and we broke our agreement because I was not going to. I could see where they were going. It was not a good place to go, so I broke the agreement. They ended up with 49,000 of my product per the agreement, and I ended up with 1,000.
1,000 units, and they had 49,000. So is that product now on the market being sold by them? How's the distribution now?
Oh, well, see, because they were so dishonest, the SEC just shut that company down a week ago.
Oh, wow. So yeah. You got vindicated there with that ruling there. So I take it they did that to other people. What drew you to that company to begin with? What was it? Would they just have a snazzy sales pitch? Was it they threw a big number at you? What drew you to them?
Well, I met them in New York at an inventors event. At an investor event. And I showed them the product. Two of the three on the team were runners. They liked the product, and they seemed like I'd be able to work with them, and they were very, very motivated. They was ready to hop on board. We signed an agreement for them to do their due diligence within 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And then they did a full due diligence called a gap analysis to see where the gaps were in the business, and where it came up with the team. Everything else is very strong. Mm-hmm.
And so really it just came down to the fact that, they gave you a great pitch and plan, but they just didn't execute upon it. And so it left you with a decreased product, but you still have the product, though. You still have the right to the product, right?
Oh, I own all the rights to the product.
Okay, so you didn't lose that, so that's a good thing.
I own the molds, and get this, I also because we ended up going to court, I also work in the deal if something happened and they lost control of the product, that I get it. Mm-hmm. I would be receiving it.
Okay, and so you have the product now. It's still going forward, and I want to talk about that when we come back from the break here. Currently talking to John Hobbs, the creator of the Athlete's Performance Gear. And again, John, throw that device up in front of the camera there again, if you would. As you can see, you can hold it while you're running. You can add weights to this. You balance yourself, one in each hand. And as a runner, he says that it increases the stamina of the runner. He said he hit that wall 45, 50-minute run, and then after he started using the device there, he was able to go a lot further. I know I hit the wall after about 45 or 50 seconds myself, so maybe I can add another minute or something to my run if I can start utilizing his product. So again, going to talk a little bit more with him when we come back from the break. Currently listening to That Business Show 2.0, where we talk with business owners each and every day. Learn more about us, TampaBayRadio.com, and we'll be back in a minute.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Hey everyone, Jamie Maloney back here on That Business Show 2.0, talking with this for business owners, entrepreneurs, and leaders from across all areas of business, and we want to hear your story too. Visit tbsinterview.com and come onto the program and inspire others as we do each and every morning here on That Business Show 2.0. All shows available on demand. You can find us on YouTube. Just go to thatyoutubechannel.com. We're on iTunes as a podcast as well. Please subscribe to us. Please leave a review. That helps get the show out and amongst the masses. Again, on iTunes, thatyoutubechannel.com, and also a variety of other podcasting sites as well. And we air new episodes each morning at 7 a.m. on TampaBayRadio.com and also on Facebook Live. If you go to That Business Network inside Facebook, it's an open group. Come on in. We do a Facebook Live each and every morning on the program. So again, thatbusinessnetwork.com, request admission, and you can watch it on Facebook each and every morning at 7 a.m. Currently talking to John Hobbs, founder of Athletes Performance Gear. Learn more about this at apg.rocks. And John, in the last segment, you're talking about how you dealt with the wrong people, and it ended up being quite a financial hit on you. And you still have the product, you still have a great idea, you're still moving forward with it, but it cost you substantially. How are you planning to market the product going forward now with diminished resources? Okay, well, a really quick side story. I met Bob Holmes, the one-man volleyball team. He played over 19,000 games, and has a mission of bullying and teen suicide. He's been in front of 5 million people. So I've teamed up with Bob to help him on that mission, okay, because it's a great mission, a great cause, and we have thousands of letters showing that he's very effective in what he does. So when Bob introduced me to a company called Viseo, and it is a direct sales company, but it's because it's new and it's so cool, and the products are better than anything on the market. In just 2 short weeks, I've already earned $1,000, and then I'm not saying everyone will do that, but some people do a lot more. And I project from what I'm doing right now, within 6 months, I'll be making enough to do my marketing plan on a small level. And it'll have all my credit cards and everything caught up and paid off. So at that point, I'll be able to get enough credit and backing, if I don't find equity funders, through my own personal credit, because I have those connections already. So I'm basically going to bootstrap with the Viseo and also a gaming company. Viseo, how do you spell that? V-A-S-A-Y-O. V-A-S-Y-O. Okay, Viseo. Okay. V-A-S-A. V-A-S-A. Oh, okay, gotcha. Y-O. V-A-S-A-Y-O? Yes. Gotcha, Viseo, got that. And so that is a direct sales company then, so people can put their products on it? Am I understanding that correctly? No, it's actually direct sales where you have 2 legs. Some people call it multi-level marketing. Multi-level marketing, okay. And so that's how you're being able to rebound from the hit that you took from the initial investors. Now, did you get, when you went out looking for that initial investment, did those investors come along pretty quickly? That's the thing. It took, after a year of not going to events, I had a few friends invest a little bit of money, but it was all in escrow. So I asked them if I could pull it out so I could actually move forward with the product on a small scale, and also look for bigger investors so I had the freedom to move. They all agreed. And so when I decided to do that was June. In July, I had the commitment. We talked a lot about on the program, finding funding for ideas and products. And unless you're in tech, it's very difficult to find investors, at least in our market in Tampa Bay. What's been the response when you pitch your product to different investors through the years and stuff? Do you get a lot of people that want to talk about it? Or do you also see that too, where people just seem to want tech ideas when it comes to investors? Well, it's really just educating the investor. Everyone has their own sweet spot on what they like. If they're a tech person, you're just talking to the wrong person. There are a lot of people that invest in physical products, and actually physical products, although the odds of getting that 1,000 times return is a lot less,
but they're considered a lot safer, especially if the physical product's able to get the enough funding behind them. That's according to Success Magazine.
Now, you are recommending Investors Launchpad now for people that are creating products. Do they help you with funding and investors also? Talk to me a little bit about their services and why you recommend them.
Okay, well, first of all, they're great people. They're they respond quickly. They have all the resources, but they also have for those with good credit, they have connections to people that can possibly get them up to $250,000 in
funding. Yeah, funding, right?
Yeah, in debt financing. So if you have a product that's similar, that you're not trying to change a behavior, like I'm trying to change a behavior, so that's a little different. But if you have a product similar to something already on the market, but is unique and patentable, those are a lot easier to get to market because people can really associate them with what they're already doing.
Now, do you have a patent on this product? How difficult is it to get something through the patenting process?
Well, I found it pretty easy, but of course, because the attorney does all the work.
Right. So what was the time frame for the time that you filed the patent? And if I understand right, I mean, patents have different categories and things that you can file under. Give us a little bit of an education on that, please.
Yes, patents definitely have a multitude of categories. Depending on the type of patent you're after, there are different lengths of time to get it back. Mine took 3 years from the time it was filed, the first one. Now, the second one I filed, last year, January, February, just a year ago, about a year ago today, actually, was that I filed a second patent.
Okay. And what type of competing products are you up against? It seems to me that that's a pretty, kind of basic design that somebody would have thought of it by now. And that's another thing we talk about on this show. Don't assume anything. I mean, you can find, ideas and all kinds of different things. I would have probably thought of that and thought, oh, that's just too easy. Somebody's probably already done that. But talk to us about like competing products and things that you're up against.
Well, the competing products are nothing close to what mine is. Okay, the competing products you have, like Nathan Sports, I'll just use them. They have a water bottle that's a single bottle that's shaped, sort of nice shape, but then they cover it with cloth. So then you put it in your hand and it's more or less stays in your hand. But the cloth gets sweaty and rancid very quickly if you do not wash it. Then you have the belt and backpack systems. And you have, the multiple different types. You have 2 bottles, 1 bottle, 4 bottles, and then you have different type of chest or vest systems, some up front and some in back. As far as handhelds, I'm the first person to make a water bottle that you really don't have to hold, that rests there. I'm the first person to put this trigger and valve system on a bottle. I'm the first person to design a bottle to be used one in each hand at the same time, operated independently of any part of the body except the hand it's in. And I'm the first person to design a bottle that you can attach things for physical gain, safety, and enjoyment.
Yeah, I mean, it's very creative. And like I said, had I thought of something like that, I would have just thought about that initial just holding device right there. I wouldn't have thought about the customization and the uniqueness that he just explained right there. So if you think of an idea, definitely step it forward and see what you can come up with. This is a great idea. And, you had, an investor, unfortunately, took advantage of you. What is the future in terms of investments? Are you looking for investors? Are people that are watching or listening right now? Are you open to investors going forward?
Oh, absolutely. One thing I learned was to have an attorney look at any paperwork.
Right.
But I am looking for investors. I actually have two different investors looking at it right now. Just in, but at the same time, although they're looking at it, I'm still going forward with the Viseo for the boots in case I need to bootstrap.
Right.
And because the products are so good, and then the gaming that I just got involved with, which is free for anyone.
Now, this is a great story because he shared with us, a product he designed, it was taken advantage of, took a tremendous financial hit, but you didn't let that defeat you. Did you go through any type of, just self-doubt or, I can't do this, I'm quitting, I lost this money? Talk to us, because so many entrepreneurs go through that. They do good, and then they have a major setback. Talk to the community about, how are you able to recover from a setback like that?
Well, you only fail if you quit.
Right. That's a good point right there.
I'm an 8-time marathoner. I finished every one of them. I never stopped once I started. And that's the same thing I'm going to do with this product. Just keep in mind, I did get this a flawed version of this product with a different company to market by myself before, and it failed. But right when I learned what was so appealing and what sold the product. So for that reason, after licking my wounds for a couple of years, I hopped back on because I knew it was a great product. It was time for the product, and I knew that I had the wherewithal and the understanding from the front end of the company to the back end of the company, all that was to make it happen.
And people can pick these up over on your site right now, right? They're still available for sale?
Yes, they can pick them up on my site.
apg.rocks, again, apg.rocks. So again, good discussion. John Hobbs, founder of Athletes Performance Gear. Greatly appreciate you checking in with us. Great story, and keep on moving forward, man.
I appreciate you, Jamie, and everything, and I'll be promoting this, and I will write you a couple reviews on your other articles for you.
All right, we appreciate it. Again, John Hobbs, founder of Athletes Performance Gear, and you can pick up that device over at apg.rocks. Learn more about us at tampabayradio.com. We're here Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. at tampabayradio.com, and you can join that business network and watch us via Facebook Live each and every morning, and find us on demand on iTunes and YouTube. Simply go to that YouTube channel. You'll go right to our YouTube channel. Again, you've been listening to That Business Show 2.0 with Jamie Maloney.
Hi, welcome to Yeagers. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeagers, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring type products: hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
everyone, Jamie Maloney here, host of That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business. Each and every morning, talking with different political entrepreneurs, business, professional leaders, a whole gamut of different people on this program. Over 2 years of this program being on air via podcast, now via video stream. A lot of great content, a lot of great interviews, all available on demand over on thatyoutubechannel.com, on iTunes, and new episode each and every morning at 7 a.m. aired on TampaBayRadio.com, as well as Facebook Live on That Business Network. Again, simply go to That Business Network. It's an open Facebook group. Come on in and catch the new episodes each and every morning at 7 a.m. Also, we want to hear your story, so please visit tbsinterview.com and find out how to get onto the program. I have got an amazing guest for this segment of That Business Show, a fellow podcaster and a top podcaster out of China. We got Lily Wong with me today. So Lily, welcome into the program today.
Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be on the show.
And she is the host of Fly with Lily, and this is an incredible podcast. Gets millions of downloads. I hope to be in her space one day. I don't get millions of downloads yet. I hope to one day. But Lily, tell us a little bit more about this podcast, first of all.
Well, right now I have 2 different podcasts. One is Mandarin. The other is English. I just published last week, so I don't have 20 million downloads yet for that
You're going
English
to get there.
one.
You're going to get there.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, my Chinese listeners, they're tuning that one too.
Now, in China, is podcasting a new medium over there? Or tell us about how it differs between here and in China.
It's so funny. I've been listening to podcasts actually since 2005, but when at that time, not so many people heard about podcasts. So whenever I talk about podcasts, people will like, what? But recently, I see there's a trend, and then there's probably 3 or 4 years ago, and there are lots of podcasting websites showing up, and I was like the pioneer for those websites. So they try to promote me. So that's how I get so much traction to my show.
Now, your show originally is in Mandarin. Is that the same as Chinese, or are those 2 different languages?
Well, the Mandarin one, originally I was doing that for my passion. My passion is learn English. I learn English through podcasts as well. So I teach English on that podcast. So that's why got really popular, because a lot of people want to learn English. And then originally I didn't know which direction I want to take, but my audience telling me that they really like to hear my travel stories, want to learn how to travel, and want to learn how to use English when traveling. So I start telling my travel stories, and it got really popular. I have a lot of comments and messages coming in. So that was when I decided I need to do travel English. Okay, so the
podcast is in Mandarin. And what I was asking a minute ago, is Mandarin the same language as Chinese, or is Chinese and Mandarin, are those 2 separate languages?
Well, actually, I was very confused in the past, but it's my American friends told me the difference. Chinese can be like Cantonese, the dialect, which in South China use a lot, but Mandarin is the official language.
That's the official language. Okay. I'm always trying to learn various parts of culture, because I am not a world traveler. I grew up in a country environment up in West Virginia. Outside of the East Coast of the United States, I've not ventured outside of that area except for a couple of trips over to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, but everybody wants to learn English,
Well, I would like to learn something else other than English. I take it for granted now that I know English. And I feel for people that come to this country and have to learn English, because we have so much different dialect, slang. We talk fast, we slur the words. And I feel for you. Are your languages like that, to where you just butcher all the different words? Is it pretty structured in the sense of how you speak?
Well, I don't know. To me, it's just I can't really tell my own language, what's the difference, what's so complicated about my language.
You can walk up to somebody and...
but my students, they would say that it's pretty difficult. But I find that English is much easier than Mandarin.
Really?
Definitely. Feels more structured.
You walk up to people in America and they're like, sup? That is what is up. That's how it's up. And it's that quick. And if you're not trained for that, it's very difficult to pick up. And so your podcast began as basically a tutorial on how to teach English then? Is that how that began?
Well, I teach people how to learn English. And then I direct my attention to sharing my story, travel stories, and things like that. Yeah, and well, when I first started, I had many different podcast albums. I also teach the teachers how to teach English, also talk about interracial or intercultural marriage and relationship, and talk about Shanghai. So I have many different podcast albums, but the one which is really popular is to learn English.
Now, you grew up in China, and what age did you begin traveling across the world?
Oh, 20.
At age 20, and
yes.
where are the different? And she lives on podcasting, by the way. She is a world traveler. She's in Tampa right now, and she told me before the show though that she's considering making Tampa her home, and so it's a great honor that she loves Tampa Bay so much. So hopefully,
it's really beautiful here.
Hopefully, she keeps her word. And hopefully, she buys a house off of me too. So don't forget, I sell real estate out there, people, and so I'll sell her a house and everything. You're living on a boat right now, or something, right?
Right now, I'm living on a sailboat.
Wow, that's an incredible life to just to be able to travel the world. And so what brought you into Tampa Bay? How did you get over to here?
Well, it's actually, long story short, I met a guy during my travel, and then he just purchased a sailboat. So he invited me to come to visit him because his birthday is coming up, and we are very good friends. So I came here, and then he offered the place for me to stay.
Okay, and so you're living in the boat here, doing your podcast. Talk to us a little bit more now about what else the podcast has developed into. You talk about teaching English, but also your travels. What are some of the other elements that you have with Fly with Lily?
Oh, well, I began to share travel quotes like every day last year, and then it got really popular because I want to inspire people how to get out of their comfort zone and start traveling, because that's how I did. I never thought that I would do this, but because of 2 years, one incident, I found out my husband cheated on me, and that was a huge blow to my life because I was living a very comfortable life. I never thought he would cheat on me, but that was just a greatest lesson for me, because I learned that I have a lot of limitations, and I wasn't happy long before he cheated on me, and then because that incident made me start thinking a lot about what I really want out of my life. When I was 20, my mom also passed away in her sleep, so I always thought that I can't really waste time. I don't know where my tomorrow is, so if I want to do it, just do it now.
So before your husband cheated on you, you were in a married relationship, you weren't podcasting, and so was that?
I was already podcasting.
Oh, you were podcasting.
He was my co-host.
Oh, he was your co-host, so you all were doing a show together.
Yeah,
okay, I thought
we
that
were
you were
doing the show together.
And what was the show on at that point? What were you doing together?
Just teaching English, like one sentence a day.
And then you found out that he had cheated on you. Did that immediately distort the show? How did that affect the fabric of the show, especially since you all did the show together?
Well, I stopped doing the show for 3 months, and then I got tons of messages coming in. It's like, what happened to you, Lily? We really love your show. You should start doing that. And then I couldn't share my story. It was like constipation. I couldn't share because I was in huge pain. Did he keep doing it without you?
Did he keep doing the show without you?
No, he didn't do it.
Okay,
he always thought like podcasting was another scam that I walked into.
Yeah, okay. So why was he doing the show?
I talked him into it because he is British, Chinese, and then he speaks wonderful English, of course, with an accent. So I brought him on the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you find podcasting originally? Isn't China and internet somewhat controlled, or is it restricted over there? How did you find that?
Well, you should ask them how did they find it, because I've been listening to podcasts 2005. I was in Taiwan. I grew up and raised there.
Okay, you're in Taiwan.
And I went to Shanghai 2008. Well, the Facebook and YouTube was blocked like around 2010. Yeah, but still there are people they try to listen to the voice outside the world, and just recently it's got really popular. They know like in America it's taking off, and then there's lots of money potential there. So some companies start doing it.
Is China moving towards more of a capitalistic society? It's like a hybrid government way it is now, or what's it like politically and culturally right now in your country? With regard to like social media and the internet and everything.
Well, I think it's still pretty controlled. I think people don't really have the freedom of speech. Like my words are constantly controlled. Like description of my podcast, like a lot of time is controlled. But I think you would be amazed if you went to Shanghai. You would think this is such a high-tech city. Everybody has the smartphone, the best phones, and then best technology around them. It's great in that sense, but I also noticed like it's pretty controlled by the government.
So your podcast, you could get in trouble for what you say on the podcast.
Yeah, actually, my podcast was yanked a few times.
It was?
Yeah.
Wow.
For some topics I shared.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Did you ever get in any legal trouble, or was it just simply
not like
ranked?
that. Yeah.
Wow.
Still, they want to promote that kind of freedom of speech on the like radio and stuff like that. They want to hear more people's voices.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Wow. You take for granted what we have with regard to freedom of speech and our culture here in America, and overseas. Your podcast gets yanked for something that you said. It's an incredible. Currently talking to Lily Wong, host of the Fly with Lily podcast, talking about her world travels. Currently in the Tampa Bay region, considering making it home as well. One of the top podcasters in the country. So an honor to sit here and talk podcasting with her. She has millions of downloads, and we want you to become a part of this program too. And you can learn more about us over at TampaBayRadio.com. And to come onto the program, please visit TBSInterview.com. All shows available on demand over on that YouTube channel and also on iTunes as a podcast. And catch new episodes Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. in That Business Network over on Facebook. So it's streamed on Facebook Live each and every morning. Again, That Business Network. We'll be back in a moment. We got a little bit more with Lily Wong on That Business Show 2.0 with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring type products: hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Hey everyone, Jamie Maloney here, host of That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business. Talking again with business owners, entrepreneurs, political and community leaders every day here on TampaBayRadio.com, on iTunes, on YouTube, wherever it is that you're finding us. Thousands of entrepreneurial interviews available on demand across multiple podcasting platforms and on our YouTube channel as well. We'd like to invite you to become part of the program. Visit tbsinterview.com if you'd like to become a guest on the program. We talk with people from all areas of business, from startup to established, from industry to industry. So it doesn't matter what level of success that you're at, we want to hear from you because our listeners and our viewers are at varying levels of success, and it's always great to hear from the established ones, established businesses, but it's also great to hear from the people that are having the same problems and struggles as the entry-level and mid-level entrepreneurs are as well. So wherever it is that you are in business, this show is for you. Again, That Business Show 2.0, and thank you so much for being a listener or a viewer of the program. In studio with Lily Wong. She is a podcaster and host of Fly with Lily. It has millions of downloads available in both Mandarin and English as well. And you can learn more at flywithlily.com. And she is a world traveler living on her podcast proceeds, teaching a platform of English to her students, and is able to travel the world as a result of podcasting. And I myself, not being a world traveler, I'm always fascinated and when I come across people that are from other cultures. And sometimes I'll ask some dumb questions because I really don't know what it's like to be off the East Coast of the United States. Where first off was the first place when you left your home country? Where was the first place that you traveled?
America.
What part of America?
I went to Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us about that. What did you like about Baltimore or did not like about Baltimore?
Oh, well, the first time I was in Baltimore, it was in October, so a little bit chilly. Mm-hmm. And then I only stayed for 5 days and cloudy. But the main point was there for a convention. And Robert Kiyosaki, you know him?
Yes, no, Robert Kiyosaki.
My idol, I had the honor to read his book when I was 18. I really liked his style. And then I was there to listen to his speech in the convention, in the travel club that I signed up to. They had this convention for 20,000 people, and then Robert Kiyosaki was there for a segment.
Yeah, I came across Robert Kiyosaki in my early 20s, and he was actually one of the catalysts to begin to turn my mindset away from the employee mentality. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I got the cash flow quadrant game and system,
nice.
and started to see how the entrepreneurial mind worked and realized I could do that. And so that was one of the early steps. And so yes, Robert Kiyosaki definitely was an inspirer, an influencer in my life. Did you get to meet him personally?
Well, I saw him on stage.
But you didn't get to meet him personally?
No,
you got to hear him, so, well, hopefully you will.
But I'm a huge fan.
Well, you show him the number of downloads you got, he's probably going to give you a call and want to get on your program.
Probably, yeah.
So you came over to Baltimore. Where did you go after that, or what are some of the other places that you've been to?
Oh, there are so many places. I went to more than 40 cities in America. Yeah, so after Baltimore, I went on a road trip with my friend, and then starting from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and then we went to Leavenworth in Washington. I did skydiving in Washington State as well, and then went north to Vancouver to visit my student, my first student that I taught Mandarin to, and then we went south to Seattle, and then stay.
Now, your country, when you grew up in Taiwan, was that a warm weather environment, cool weather? What was it? A mixture of 4 seasons? What was it like weather-wise where you came from?
Well, in Taiwan, summer can be pretty hot. Yeah, it's just like we have 4 seasons, but the spring and fall is not very obvious. Kind of like Florida, it's hot.
And so you came to Baltimore, a cold weather environment. And I always like to ask people who come from a warm weather environment to a cold weather environment.
Yeah,
they usually can't take it. They can go from cold to warm, but they can't go from warm to cold and everything.
Well,
so I see that you've come south. You're in Miami for a while too, correct?
Yes.
What did you think of Miami versus Tampa Bay?
Well, Miami and Tampa Bay, I think the weather is pretty similar. But here, because I stay here a little bit longer, I noticed the humidity is really high.
Yeah, humidity is rough here.
But when I first came to Tampa area, I actually stayed like near St. Pete Beach. So I was in Redditon Shore, and then I rented a beach house there. And then every time I check the weather, it's like 104 degrees Fahrenheit. I was surprised, but it didn't feel like that.
Now, you're, again, traveling, the world here on podcasting. How are you monetizing your podcast? That's the number one question that all podcasters have. How do I make money on this? Talk to me about how you're monetizing your podcast.
Well, I've come a long way. At first, when I starting to think about monetizing, it was always really scary because I don't have my product, I don't want to sell a product, or I don't have a product in me. So I start taking donations, and then it's just begin to surprise me that I start receiving like $1,000 donation through my podcast, and it's just like surprised that people actually really love the value I provided and then give me money for it. And then my business partner found me online, so this is just one of the 2 affiliate program. My business partner, he has an education company, and then he provide English courses online, so he handled the sales and everything. So I just had a plug in podcast.
Okay, so initially it was donations, not so much sponsors. I mean, that's great. I mean, people would donate money to you. What platforms did you ever do, like a GoFundMe campaign, a Kickstarter campaign?
No.
No, you would just ask your listeners for donations and they supported you?
Right.
Wow, that's incredible. Because that's not something that you see in America. You can ask for donations, and it doesn't usually happen. We have GoFundMe and Kickstarter campaigns that will work for some people, but it does not work very well with the American listeners. So just a cultural difference between the communities. The way podcasters usually succeed is productization. Sponsors are another way to monetize, but until you got millions and millions of downloads, sponsorships are difficult to get because they want their phone ringing, and you got to have a lot of listeners. You can still have a lot of listeners, but if they're not engaged and not picking up the phone, then it's as if you have 0 listeners. Now, your product, you met your business partner, and that's when you started to develop your product, correct?
Yeah, I don't have my product yet. He has one, so I just having a plug in my show.
Okay.
Also, I have another. I also signed up a travel club, and then I start going to travels from the travel club. I made friends from the travel club, and then I also talk about the travel club. The best thing about this travel club is I can just also introduce members to the travel club, and then they give you incentives like travel points and money for you to go on free trips. So you're doing
affiliate programs.
Yeah, affiliate programs. So I've been on 13 paid trips already.
13 paid trips through your podcasting. Incredible what something that is still unknown to so many people here in the United States, podcasting can do. Here's Lily with an amazing podcast traveling around the country, making money on it, and living on a boat here in St. Petersburg. What's the future for you and your podcast? Do you plan to stay as a podcaster? Do you have other things that you want to do in life? Or where are you going to be at in the next few years?
Well, the reason why I start my English podcast is also I want to push myself to write more. I want to publish a book, to influence people through my stories and experiences.
Very cool, very cool. So tell us a little bit more about some of the other topics then that you go into. You're talking about how you talk about, intercultural relationships, and you talk about the travels, talk about, the English instruction. What are some of the other things then that you cover with Fly with Lily?
Well, so after my separation and now it's already finalized divorce, I also discover I have a lot of limitations and disempowering beliefs. That's how it kept me from going forward. So I talk about that a lot about that, like how to just break through your limitations and then just chase your dreams. We only have one life to live, and then we should live every day.
Do you think you became a different person after the separation from your husband? Did that the cheating impact you to the point that it changed your personality and opened up other areas, other things that you knew that maybe didn't even know that were components of your personality?
Well, I want to say that I was a different person in marriage. I was always like this. Before marriage and after I got out of marriage, I'm pretty free spirit. I do what I want, and I'm a very happy person. But I was depressed in my marriage. I don't know why. I had a very loving relationship with my ex-husband, but just constantly, I feel like I had a different mindset about marriage. I just feel like maybe it's because I was in Asia. People like have some kind of like frame, like what kind of life you're supposed to be. So I tried to fit in, but I didn't like it. I didn't like my lifestyle, and I guess my husband didn't like who I was when I was in marriage because I just not fit in, you know.
So what do you miss most, if you do, about living over in Taiwan versus where you're at today? Is if you could go back to Taiwan, what do you miss most?
I miss food in Taiwan. I still crave Asian food every day.
Yeah, I've been told that the Chinese food and the Asian food we eat here is not up to par with what comes out of your country.
I know.
Am I correct?
Yeah, I can't get used to American food, to be honest. But you have amazing Chinese buffet. I have to
I didn't even realize the Chinese food that we eat every single day isn't really even considered Chinese food until sometime last year when I had a guest on my show and he educated me on what real Chinese food is. So again, I admit I'm a very uncultured individual. So, but I am open.
You're being humble. Yeah.
I am open to learning. So if I ever make any cultural mistakes or I offend somebody accidentally, I apologize. I don't mean to. So, well, we got to wrap up this episode. Lily Wong, creator of the Fly with Lily podcast. Check her out on iTunes and also at flywithlily.com. So, Lily, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And again, you can catch this show on Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. available online at tampabayradio.com, and all shows available on demand in iTunes and also in high definition over on our YouTube channel, simply entitled thatyoutubechannel.com. And also, if you're a business owner in the Tampa Bay, again, we've got a great network of business professionals and a lot of different events going on each and every month. Head over to tbbo.org for more information. You've been listening to That Business Show 2.0 with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.